What's up, guys and gals? My name's Joy, and today we're going to go over the Microsoft, Bethesda, the Ubisoft, Square Enix, and obviously Sony conferences for E3 and my thoughts on them. So to start off, we'll start with Microsoft. No new IPs. Obviously, it's the only thing this year that I think could have saved Xbox was a new IP. Or, Fable 4. Fable 4 did not get announced, and that's really the only reason I was watching the Xbox conference, and so I just wasn't impressed. Everything that Xbox showed, we either knew about, we knew there was going to be probably another Gears, another Forza, another Halo. It's typical at this point. It's so expected with Microsoft at this point that it's dull and boring. And so we got a new Halo trailer, a new Gears of War with a female lead, and another Forza game, and I'm just not impressed by those. I was hoping Fable would be there, and it wasn't. And then everything else they showed obviously was cross-platform, which means you could play it on your PC and PS4. So, just not really hopeful for Microsoft's conference this year. They did show a lot of games this year, which was great. I think they need to keep that routine going into 2019 for E3 if they want to catch up to Sony ever. But I think at this point Microsoft is lost, and we pretty much all know that by now. Moving on, so then we have Bethesda. Their conference also did not impress me. So going back to Microsoft real quick, my score for them is going to be 2 out of 10. Was not impressed. So moving on to Bethesda, right? We have Starfield, which got a logo trailer announcement. We have more info on Fallout 76. And then obviously the Elder Scrolls 6. Now I don't play the Elder Scrolls 6. I know a lot of people were excited about that, but again, that's a Bethesda title that you should be expecting. That should be on the list of expectations, and I'm sure plenty of Elder Scrolls fans knew that game was going to come some point, whether it was later, sooner, doesn't matter. Bethesda was going to have to make another Elder Scrolls game to keep people interested in their titles, right? We got a new Doom game as well, which I didn't play the first one, but it looks okay. But I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with Bethesda either. So I'm giving Bethesda a 4 out of 10. They did a little better than Microsoft and EA, but they still just did not woo me enough to really give a crap. I'm sorry to say that. I just was not impressed with Bethesda. Moving on to what was it? Square Enix. I didn't watch Square Enix, but apparently their conference was laughable. They were almost as bad as EA. For 30 minutes, they showed the same Kingdom Hearts trailer that I think Microsoft showed. It was just not a good conference for Square Enix, which I don't really expect them to have a good conference to begin with. Because it'll be like Final Fantasy 105 and, this game and this, it's just the same crap over and over. And that's pretty much all this E3 was. This whole E3, for like every conference that I'm reviewing right now, was like sequel after sequel. It was like Hollywood. It's just dull and boring. And that's pretty much what this E3 was. So Square Enix, I didn't watch it. I was sleeping. But from what I heard, it wasn't worth watching anyway. So that's good. So I'm going to give that 2 out of 10 as well. And then obviously, we have Ubisoft's conference. Now, this conference started on the level of EA cringe. It was that bad. It started with like this fuzzy panda bear. They showed the new Assassin's Creed game, which literally looks like Origins already. It just looks like it's set in they just changed the Egyptian theme around and put Greek statues everywhere. So it looks like Origins. Not buying it, don't care. I liked Origins, but Origins was promised to be an RPG for the Assassins games. And even with 2 years, Ubisoft couldn't master the stroke of what an RPG is. It's still kind of funny that in 2015, the best RPG came out for consoles, and it's still the best RPG in almost 2019. That's pathetic beyond, like, anything else. It's just pathetic. So, not excited for Ubisoft's conference. They showed, some games that I wasn't impressed by. And then they showed Assassin's Creed, which is pretty much the only game anyone watches the conference for. Not impressed by it. Didn't like what I saw. Moving on. 2 out of 10 for Ubisoft. So then we get to Sony, and they dropped the ball just as bad as Microsoft. While Microsoft did show a lot of games, again, most of them were multi-plat, so that doesn't really save Microsoft in the way of new IPs or IPs that we want to see, like Fable or even Skate 4. They didn't announce Skate 4 either. So then we go to Sony. Sony's conference wasn't good either. It showed Last of Us 2. It showed a couple other, I think Resident Evil 2, and games that I don't play. Most of these games I don't play, so I didn't care that much. And again, like God of War, you're gonna play Last of Us 2 a couple times if you like it, and then you'll never touch it again. And there goes your $60. Golf clap, you dumbass. Like, that's pretty much what's gonna happen, right? And it's the same for everything else that we saw this year at E3. I was not impressed. So Sony's conference also 2 out of 10, and that's I don't know about the Nintendo conference. I haven't watched it. I might check it out and see what came out with that, and maybe do a review separately on the Nintendo one for the Switch. There is a Switch game I'm looking forward to, but that doesn't come till August this year. But that's about it, right? That's like the only game I care for at the moment. There's nothing on next-gen consoles that are going to make me excited, like, for the next year and a half. That's how bad it is. That's the drought of games right now. And the games they showed. So the only game at E3 that I'm curious to know more about is because we've been hearing about it and it looks interesting to play, is obviously Anthem. Can they redeem themselves from Mass Effect Andromeda? That's the question. That's not a day one buy though for me. Obviously, I want to read up about it, make sure that it's actually good before I pick it up. And then obviously, what else is there? Cyberpunk, I guess, was CD Projekt Red, but that's a multi-platform game, so I don't know why people think that's Xbox exclusive. That's going to be on the PC, that'll be on the PS, that'll be everywhere. That's how CD Projekt works. So just overall, not an impressive year. For pretty much every conference was really bad. Bethesda's the only one I think that won E3 so far this year, and keep in mind I haven't seen the Nintendo conference, but to me, Bethesda's end part of their conference is what really raised the score 2 points. But even then it wasn't like, oh my god, Bethesda, I'm foaming at the mouth, you're so glorious, oh my god. Everything was a sequel this year. It was so boring to watch all these conferences. Luckily Anthem doesn't have a sequel yet, so like Destiny 2 or something. But I am curious to see how Anthem progresses, and if it gets overall better, then I might pick that up. If not, then I'll just wait until it comes out, wait for reviews, and then there you go. Get it it'll be 50% off if it bombs within the first month. So, I'm not impressed at all. So this year, what I've decided to do, no Fable 4, no Ace Combat, didn't get to see any of those games. Those are games I would have loved to have seen at E3 this year, and we saw none of them. So I was like, okay, well, there goes my E3, because that's really the only 2 games I, gave a crap to see. There were a couple others that I wanted to see as well, but they were leaked like a week before E3 came out, so that's why, again, I just wasn't as excited to see them, because I already knew they were going to be there. So, obviously, like Starfield and stuff. So, yeah, Bethesda. So let's go over the scores again, just so I can finish off the video here. Microsoft 2 out of 10, Bethesda 4 out of 10. What was it after? Ubisoft 2 out of 10, and Sony 2 out of 10. And that's pretty much E3 2018. Those are your scores right there. With that said, guys, I hope you enjoy. Stay tuned for the Nintendo conference. I probably won't watch it. I'll probably just get all the games that came out with it and watch it when it's done streaming, on IGN or something, and put out the video for the review for that conference later. With that said, though, guys, I hope you enjoy. Have a good week, or Monday. Yeah, good week, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.